guys, what's up everybody? I am here back with another album review. This time I'm going to be talking about the Jacksons' Goin Places. Stay tuned and you don't want to miss it. You're now watching MJFANGIRL TV.
Girl, you got to know. We can touch the sky like it's free.
Alright guys, if you have not seen my face before, my name's MJFANGIRL. I make videos for and about the Michael Jackson fan community, so hit that subscribe button and click all notifications so that YouTube will let you know every time I upload. So this is going to be one of several Jackson's album reviews here on my channel. So Goin Places was released on October 8th of 1977. This was the second album that the Jacksons released since their move from Motown to Epic Records. It peaked at number 63 on the US mainstream Billboard charts. It peaked at number 11 on the Black Billboard charts, Black Music Billboard charts, and number 45 in the United Kingdom. Now, something that makes the Goin Places album unique is that it is one of two and the last collaboration between Gamble and Huff, aka Philadelphia International, and Epic Records on Jackson's albums. After this, they went on to produce the albums and many of the songs themselves. So if you don't know the background, Michael Jackson was a part of a band with his brothers, four of his brothers. They were called the Jackson Five, as five of them were in there. Michael, Jackie, Tito, Marlon, and Jermaine all made up the Jackson 5. They were with Motown from 1969 all the way up until 1975-ish, 6, when they made their switch and moved from Motown to Epic Records for more creative freedom. Now, the Jacksons released two of their first albums on Epic Records with Philadelphia International, aka Gamble and Huff, and they were producers in charge of writing many songs and many hits for groups like Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, Teddy Pendergrass, the OJs, just to name a few. Now, it's also important to note that the band members had also changed. Jermaine Jackson stayed behind at Motown, and in came Randy, the Jacksons' youngest brother. So the Goin Places album is pretty short. It's only about 36 minutes in total and 9 songs. The album also spawned 2 music videos from some of the tracks. Those 2 music videos were Even Though You're Gone and Goin Places, both recorded in 1977. On this album, they had a little bit of creativity going on. The creative juices were flowing with the Jacksons because they did compose 2 of the songs, and those were Different Kind of Lady and Do What You Wanna. So in this video, like all my album reviews, I'll be going through some of the tracks and then also giving you a list of my favorites from least to highest, and let's talk about that. And let me take this off because I'm burning up, guys. So you guys know that I like to give a lot of insight into what the actual artists were thinking, and Michael Jackson stated in his autobiography Moonwalk that the Jacksons album was a lot different than this album, Goin Places. Mind you, the Jacksons was their first album on Epic. This was a lot different because there are a lot of songs that were less dancey, a lot of less dance hits, and a lot more songs that had to do with messages, you know, about humanity, about togetherness, all of that. Now, Michael Jackson also did say that this was a lot more of like an OJ sort of feel and less Jackson's, and you know, I personally agree with him. I think that these songs on the Goin Places album were the most like uncharacteristic when I think of the Jacksons. It just sounds as if they're singing songs from like another Philadelphia International artist catalog and just singing them. It doesn't sound like it's like the Jacksons. Do you know what I mean? Comment below if you agree with me. Let's get into the song list. So Music's Taking Over was a really fun way to open the album. It's an upbeat song. It's a song that I personally like. It is something that I think was a good choice to open up the album. It's sort of one of those songs with messages, and it reminds me totally of just an OJ song. Goin Places actually ended up being a single on this album, and Tito Jackson said that he didn't think that it would be a single, but it was a fun song, and he thought that Gamble and Huff actually wanted to inspire more black people to travel because the Jacksons had traveled a lot, and through, you know, the Jacksons' own experiences, they sing about going to different places and how much fun and the different traditions they come across and all that. And Tito Jackson shared that he thought that it was a song that was good that it was a single, even though he kind of was like not all about it, because it inspired more black people to travel, and I think that's important. Now, Different Kind of Lady is a song that is really interesting because it's kind of like, okay, literally in the song they said they're going girl shopping. Girl shopping meaning like, okay, I'm looking around for all these girls, but then I just come back to you because you're a different kind of lady. So Even Though You're Gone is a ballad on this album. As I mentioned, it has a music video. If you look it up on YouTube, you'll definitely come across it. But I like this because I felt like we really got a chance to hear some of Michael Jackson's like earlier playing around with like his register in terms of like hitting high notes and going lower. And I like this song because it reminds me of like him first experimenting with a lot of the sounds that he would use later on in his career, specifically in Thriller. You hear a lot of those types of vocal patterns in his later work, and I think that it's a really good look into like a kind of like a preview of what Michael would later become vocally. This song is also great in terms of the harmonies. One of the things that a lot of people fail to mention when they talk about the Jacksons as a group is how sick the harmonies were. Like, those guys could really, really harmonize, and I think that some of the harmonies in the end of this song are very, very beautiful. So Jump for Joy is one of my least favorite songs on the album, so I'm gonna have a hard time talking about it, but it's a good song. Like I said, it's upbeat, but it just doesn't ring like Jackson's to me. Leave me a comment down below if you feel differently about Jump for Joy. It just didn't sound like the Jacksons to me, so naturally it's not one of my favorites on the album. Next is Heaven Knows I Love You Girl, and this is a great song because it showcases the voices of the other Jacksons, and I think that's really cool. I really, really love the fact that Tito Jackson got a chance to shine. Tito's voice is just so unique, you guys, because he's got that really low voice and that bass, and I think that just that addition of his vocals there and the slow kind of like the talking verse, it really, really touches me. Okay, call me cheesy, you guys, but I feel like Heaven Knows I Love You Girl is kind of like a wedding song. I feel like it's like one of those songs where people can be like singing about the love of their lives. It talks about, oh, you know, how lives change when they met each other and how they're gonna build a life and a home together, and Tito Jackson goes off in like that last verse and talks about how precious the love is that they share, and it's just really, really cool. It's more of like a spoken verse line, but definitely if you're interested in exploring the voices of some of the other Jackson brothers, definitely think that you should check out Heaven Knows I Love You Girl. Man of War is one of those songs with the most powerful and deepest messages, and I actually think that this song would have done much better on another album, just because I feel like it's a standout song, and it also happens to be one of Katherine Jackson's favorite songs. This was something that Michael Jackson shared during his lifetime, that she loved this song. It talks about war and peace and how we should just all, you know, come together as one. And I think it's also interesting because Marlon Jackson has a line of hats, I believe, and he always wears a hat that says Study Peace, and that is directly coming from Man of War. So Do What You Wanna is fun, I like it. Again, this is one of the songs that the Jacksons composed, so it does have a different feel. It's like, I could definitely get down to this song. I like to listen to it while I'm in the car driving, while I'm on my commute. It gets me hype, it gets me in a certain mood, and I think that you guys will all love it. It's definitely one of those more upbeat songs. It doesn't really have that like message kind of thing that you see throughout the rest of the Campbell and Huff songs, but it's really good. So lastly, we're gonna talk about Find Me a Girl. I love this song, and the reason why I love it is just because I really love when Michael gets into that, like, I don't know, it's kind of like ad-libs, but I can't explain it, so I'm just gonna play it for you guys. Take a listen. Reminds me of one of those 70s love songs. Like, you know, have you guys ever seen like the Time Life commercials where they have like the 70s soul classics? Like, this is one of them, and I'm surprised that this wasn't a more popular song, or that this wasn't a single from this album. Find Me a Girl is all that and more. Like, I really love how, you know, the guys, the Jacksons are singing to him, what you gonna do? And Michael's like, I'm gonna be good to you, baby. Like, I love that. I love that song. soulful Michael Jackson. Alright, so that was my review of the Goin Places album. I definitely think there are some gems and it's a must listen if you haven't heard it before. Here's my list from least to most favorite. Alright, so here is my list. I always write it down just to make sure that I got everything in order. Number 9, Jump for Joy. Number 8, Do What You Wanna. Number 7, Man of War. Number 6, Heaven Knows I Love You Girl. Number 5, Music Taking Over. Number 4, Different Kind of Lady. Number 3, Find Me a Girl. Number 2, Goin Places. And number 1, Even Though You're Gone. So again, you guys, like I said, there are so many great Jackson's albums. This is one of them. Not my favorite, but it's worth listening to. Like I said, they have got so many more albums and records out there. I have done lots more reviews, and make sure that you check those out. I'm going to put them up on the screen here. Notably, my Destiny album and my Triumph album reviews. And also make sure that you're leaving me a comment down below letting me what your fave ranking is on all these tracks in the Goin Places album.